Good morning! Welcome to the classiest place on earth. My name is Katie, and my fucking chair feels really high today. I'm lonely! I felt like I was about to knock my knees into the fucking desk. Good morning, everybody! I hope you're doing well. Chair, get into your oh my god. That'd be funny. It's so weird. The way that this chair raises, it's like a I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a little blue knob on the side that you just flick, and I think sometimes the dogs bump into it, and I just slowly start to like click down until I'm here. And then I just get used to kind of being under my desk, which is terrible. Wait, I need Dommy Mommy, Gibbs Resident Evil Mommy. What? What? I don't. Okay, yes. Is there a new one though, or like? I assumed Lady Demon Trisket. Is that what we called her? Lady Demon Trisket, but I was like, oh shit, do we have like a new game coming out? I was just confused. It's fine. I thought maybe there was a new Lady Demon Trisket. Isn't there a new Resident Evil, but it's not Lady Demon Trisket? There's a new one coming out. I feel like we saw a trailer for it or something. I don't know. What up, Kills? How are you? Did her mic get slightly lower after she turned her music down? I might just be far away from it. Is it too low? I try to not let it peak because I scream a lot. I don't want to I don't want to be that. Is it a tad low? I can turn it up. I have the technology. I try not to turn it up, like, seriously, especially, I think of myself as those fucking, like, anime characters in those shows we've been watching, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to sound like a shrill bitch. Like those fucking videos we watch. They all sound so goddamn shrill, I hate it. I don't, like, we've been watching, Demon Slayer, which is a really good show, don't get me wrong, but we've been watching the English dub, and I feel like any character introduced that is not in a complete state of calm has to sound like a shrill teenage girl. Every single one. And I don't like, do Japanese people love shrill? Like, I'm genuinely asking. There has to be an audience out there that's like, yes, I love shrill. There has to be, because it's so common. They yell it oh my God, Kendo. The one of the episodes that, I mean, honestly, it's any episode this kid is in, but I can't remember his name. It's the blonde kid in the show. And he just, like, anytime he's conscious, he's screeching. And I just want him to die. I just want him to die so bad. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, just die. Just do it now. You can die now. He's a bitch. He's a bitch. I mean, and it's like, there was another, God, what episode did we watch last night? We watched the season finale of episode 2, or season 3. Season finale of season 3. And, it was oh God, I'm so bad at the name. Zenitsu's the blonde kid. What's the, flashy guy? We're gonna do it flashy with all the wives. One of his wives was freaking out, and she... No amount of boobs or sweet pussy can do anything for... Ever! What is that? Why is that? What is happening? Oh, it's like grinds on me, man. The middle, good dude, that middle wife energy is... I can't even do it. It's more shrill than what I'm giving you right now. And it's like, I mean, let's be real, though. Like, just giving credit to the show, the fact that I still enjoy the show and I still look forward to watching it every night says a lot, considering every other character is... And I fucking hate that. So that says a lot. It's a pretty decent show. Tengen, is Tengen the one, we're gonna do it flashy guy? Whenever the wives come on screen, I just mute the TV and try not to lay on my stomach. Dude. Right? Okay, so this is something that I was thinking of last night, but I was cutting leather, so I didn't have my hands at the keyboard. But, It's something I noticed in if you watched I believe it's called Sanctuary. It's like a drama kind of show about sumo. If you haven't watched it, really really good. Really good show. But there's a girl in it who's like just trying to get money out of the main guy, and I mean, in zero exaggeration whatsoever, she has anime boobs. It's crazy. She's like 85 pounds, and her boobs are also 85 pounds. I just don't understand it. And he's like, the main character is always like at her titties, but her cleavage goes down to here. I'm not, and it. All I can think of is, where the fuck are her nipples? It's all I can think of in these anime shows too, because they make it so the shirt stops here and it's all boob. Where are they here? Is it here? Where's the nipple? Like, they're in the middle of a boob. Where are they? I can't stop wondering. When your cleavage is down here, like, imagine no material. Where's the nipple? Where is it? Did they replace it here? 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 Where is it? I have to know. Like, none of that cleavage is realistic. You've tucked your nipple somewhere secret, and I want to know where it is. Where is it? It's got to be removed or something. I don't know. Like, you've tucked it into your armpit. Where is it? Where's the nipple? I don't know. It's like fucking, it reminds me of poor Trisha Paytas. She had a fucked up boob job, and they put her nipples so low that she could literally have all of her tit out and never show a nipple. But it's a fucked up boob job. Like, she talks about it. There's a real person I saw like that on Twitch. Her nipple has to be under the boob. That's what I'm saying. It has to be. As a boob owner, like, trust me, we struggle for the cleavage without getting our nips out. It's like, you have nipples. You've watched Japanese porn. The women scream. Same. They scream like they're being ripped in half, but it's like the shrill, like, like, what is why? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't want that. I think someone was in pain. I woke up late for work, so I'm not going to be around. Oh, boo. Wanted to ask an opinion. A coworker collapsed at work Monday afternoon. I'm going to gloss over some other details about what happened, but I felt a great need to check on their condition, and I felt like I should have been wearing scrubs. I know that feeling. If helping people to heal and feel better gives me life, would you say going to nursing would be a good idea? 100%. Being a nurse is a calling. It truly is. And people who can't do it or don't have the soul for it eventually work out of the system. And I don't say that in a prideful way. It's a calling. I don't know. Without it, that being like a spiritual thing, it's a calling in that there's a certain personality type where your own well-being, to a certain extent, doesn't matter anymore because of the life in front of you. So when you see like TikToks and shit about nurses where they joke about not peeing for 24 hours, but measuring your piss every 30 minutes, that's pretty real. But it's not like we're torturing ourselves and getting kidney infections. It's just like you're so busy and you're so concentrated on healing people, you don't even think about yourself. And suddenly your shift's over and it's been 13 hours and you haven't eaten, pissed, shit, or drank water and you're dying in your car and you're like, I don't know what happened. But it's like, I've talked about that before a little bit. Like, anybody, if you've been you're going to end up training new RTs, new nurses, etc. If you work in a hospital, it's just how it goes. When you get a job, you have to shadow usually for about 8 weeks before you're allowed to be on your own, no matter what, even if you're not a new grad. So you end up training new people, and we get a lot of new grads. We get a lot of new grads in, because new grads, you don't have to pay shit, which is horrible. But one of the things that was always really heartbreaking to me a little bit was when you have a new grad and you're just going around doing your normal checks and a code hits. And there's something in a personality type, and again, not a flex, it's just something that's there. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something in someone's brain that when you see someone go down, you don't think twice about jumping on the chest. I say that figuratively, but you know what I mean. There's not you don't pause and go, you just action, immediate action. You run into the room and you're doing it. And there were handfuls of times where I would have a new grad and a room down the hall, you'd hear the code bell go off, everybody runs, and that person freezes at the door. They stand at the door and they look at you like, what do I do? They're done. They don't get to work in an ICU anymore. And it's nothing to do with their academics, their intelligence level, nothing. It's not a flex. They don't have I'm going in. Whatever that is, you have to have that. Because milliseconds are the difference between brain death and not brain death. So that millisecond of what do I do is going to kill somebody. You can't be there anymore. I've talked about that before. Again, not a flex, but there are no second chances or plan Bs in a hospital. You do things exactly the way you were taught every fucking time, period, end of story, because it works. And if you fuck up, you wait a millisecond, you pause, that can be the difference between life and death when it comes to a human. You don't get second chances. And there's something, fight, flight, or freeze. There can be, I've worked with some of the smartest people I've ever met in my entire life who can't work in an ICU because they freeze, but they work in academics, they work in research, they work in labs. They're fucking genius. I'm not a fucking genius. I'm okay with that because I have that other ability where I don't think, I just go in. I'm going to get that person better. That's my only instinct. Like, you know, another good example is like, it's so gross, but oftentimes you're getting people with bullet wounds, missing legs, like you're drilling IOs into their bones because you can't get an IV, and blood and semen and vomit and shit is going to be splattering on your face, and you have to not realize it. Your job is more important than doing this. And there's something to that, which is why I encourage, if you feel that in your, like, if you feel you already have that, I absolutely encourage you to do that, because we need people like that in the industry, 100%. And as a person who would be a patient, I want that. That's what I want as a patient. I don't want someone who goes, oh, I don't want you. Go, shoot. Milliseconds, dude. Milliseconds, that's all it takes. Jumping on the chase, Katie from the top ropes. Not a joke, Crispy. Have you ever heard of a precordial thump? I've only got to do it once in my entire life. And it was on an airplane. But no shit. Don't do it. Like, this is nothing anyone should do. But you do learn about it in school because it is a possibility. If you catch someone, they're having the heart attack, like it's happening in front of you, you can actually punch their sternum as hard as possible and cause a restart of the heart, similar to what our shock pads do. And it's called a precordial thump. So if you see someone, like, I've talked about this before, I had a patient, one of the most notable patients I ever had. It was at one of these tiny hospitals I worked at in Washington. And it was so unnerving to me because I was baby RT to begin with, but he was sitting up in the bed like this, legs straight out, you know, in the ER bed. So I come into the room, feet first, and I look at him, and he was a very handsome looking, like very tan, white haired kind of older dude, very tan. And I fuck you not, it was like watching like a temperature gauge. I watched the color just drop out of his entire body. While he was talking to me, his body slowly turned, not slowly, within a second, turned to the color of his hair, and he goes, I don't feel very good. And I watched, the monitor was behind his head, his heart was stopped. I watched it. And then all of a sudden, one of the nurses that was at the side just comes swinging around and whap with her fucking fist onto his chest as hard as possible. It was wild. But you can see it happen, and you just like, no shit, Chris, that's my answer. Like, I know you have to go because you woke up late or whatever, but that's, yes. It's not easy. It's like, it's a martyrdom lifestyle. I don't know how to put that. It's very binge purge lifestyle. Like, you're going to work 6 12-hour shifts to get 8 days off, but you're going to spend half of those 8 days off just mentally, emotionally, and physically recovering from your 6 12-hour shifts you just worked. It's hard, and the vast majority of people in medicine end up in a relationship with someone in medicine or a cop because no one else understands the lifestyle and no one else can really empathize with it. Because, I mean, I remember when I was dating someone that didn't work in medicine and I was working in medicine, there would be 2-week periods I wouldn't see my partner, whom I lived with, because I was night shift and our schedules would perfectly cross. He'd leave for work right as I was getting home. We'd never see each other. And for me personally, I'm all about quality over quantity time. I don't need to be around another person all the time just in their presence. I'd rather like have quality time with someone. So that doesn't bother me. But to someone else who wants a nightly partner who's there to eat dinner with them every single night and go to bed with them and have kind of a routine, you're not going to work well with a nurse, ever. Or anyone in medicine, for that matter. That's not the lifestyle we lead. It's just not going to happen. And you kind of have to be okay with that, and that can be really hard. What up, BDO? How are you? Nurses are the best, very much so, Kendo. A lot of people all over the world get nursing degrees to come to the U.S. because it's so needed. Yep, precordial thump. No shit. Lay on the chest. I had to do it on an airplane one time because a kid was. I've told you that story. It was crazy. Kid, I was coming home from TwitchCon. He was coming home from Mexico, so I was like his layover or whatever, and he started having a fucking heart attack. And the steward stood up and goes, "Any doctors on board?" No one, not one human being on this entire fucking airplane raises their hand or stands up. Hungover, post TwitchCon Katie. In my I remember it so clearly. I was like in this oversized black hoodie, and I just kind of like slowly look up and look around like, somebody, please, nobody. So I stand up and I'm like, I'm an RT, and she like rushes me up there. I punch the kid in the chest and sit with him for a bit. 15 minutes go by and some old bitch stands up. "I'm a doctor. Does anybody need help up here?" She was in first class. No words. No, she didn't want to do anything. She straight up, she did like okay, so imagine I'm in the like aisle seat and the kid who just had a heart attack is right here. He knows shit. He told me this. It's such a weird story because this kid actually messages me like once a year on Twitter to update me on how well he's doing because he completely changed his life. He like, I guess I scared him. I don't know. I just sat and talked with him the whole flight. But he had gone to Mexico for a bachelor party. And while he was there, found out that his fiance was cheating on him with someone at the bachelor party. So he didn't eat or drink water for like 7 days. All he did was do cocaine and drink alcohol. He just told me that. And so on the airplane, his body just decided to die. This is why he was going into, I mean, it was terrible. He was younger than me. He was like 24 or something. He was a baby. It was terrible. But imagine I'm in the aisle seat. He's right there. And I'm just sitting here like trying to calm him down because he's in like a panic state now, trying to calm him down for the flight because this was the very beginning of the flight. And I shit you not. So if this is the aisle, this is what this bitch does. "Hi, I'm a doctor. Is there anything I can do here?" To me. And I straight up, full voice, was like, "Do you have any meds?" "Oh, I didn't bring my bag with me." Then no. Bye. Go away. You fucking useless. I didn't say any of that, but I wanted to so bad. Just that like, "Hi, is there anything I can..." Are you fucking with me? Why are you a doctor? She was probably seriously a clinician or something. I don't know. No shade. We need clinicians. But guys, motherfucking potamus oath. You guys, the vast majority of you I would go to throw out there right now are not medical professionals and could not recite the Hippocratic Oath, yeah? You still know what the fuck it means, right? Do no harm. Doing nothing is harm. I can have my license stripped from me so fast if someone witnesses me not attend a person that goes down in public. Immediately, if someone videoed me walking away from someone who went down, by going down, I mean any kind of injury that's life-threatening that I have the skills, license, board-certified license, and knowledge to assist with. If someone videotaped me walking away, I would get my license stripped from me immediately. That is harm. Fucking cunt. But yeah, going to medicine, it's super fun. It is, honestly. I miss it sometimes. I miss like the camaraderie of it. I miss the people I worked with. I miss like just socializing and shit like that and hanging out and being around smart people. But I don't miss the parts of it that just, to me, seem super common sense. You know, like, if your patient has just shit their pants, go help them. Don't finish your bagel first. You put your bagel in your fucking pocket and you go help your patient who has just shit their pants. That to me is that's common sense to me. Like, how can you leave a human being in their own excrement? How can you consciously do that for any amount of time, period? A minute, 15, I don't give a fuck. You put your bagel down and you go help your patient. Like, to me, And you're very constantly with that. There's a lot of just like, huh, but everybody's tired, everybody's worn out, everybody's done. It's a lot, but it can be very rewarding. She behaved like she does at the hospital, show up after the. I'm glad I didn't have to say it, Crimson. They show up rubbing the sleep out of their eyes as the code is done. Oh, wow, what happened here? All the RTs are on the ground covered in vomit, timing the code like, nothing, you can go now. Where were you? Yeah. Yeah, you do. Oh, Allie, it's crazy because I didn't even tell him to. It's so weird. Like this kid, I was hung over beyond reason. Literally, this was the weekend after TwitchCon in San Diego or something, and I was by myself on the flight. I was unbelievably hungover, in a very bad mood, had to punch a stranger in the chest, and then they moved me. Like, they took all my stuff and they traded me seats with this woman so I could sit with the kid. So I was just, like, not in the mood, but I have a level of professionalism, and I was just trying to calm him down. Like, he was panicking, which can lead to another heart attack. You don't want more heart attacks to happen. And considering he hadn't had anything but cocaine or alcohol for weeks. And it was about a year later, out of nowhere, I get a message on Twitter, like a message request or whatever, because we weren't friends. And it was him. Like, I didn't ask for his information. I didn't tell him, like, you have to check in with me. I just, you know, I felt kind of mom-ish, but I was like, you need to change your fucking life. Like, none of this is okay. You realize this is just death. And if it's not death, it's going to make you look like death. Not to bring up Glut's coworker, but Glut has a coworker that looks infinitesimally older than he should, and it's cocaine. Like, none of that shit is good. Stop it. Like, you can have and he did. He just did. He, like, he's married now. He found a new woman. He's married. He's happy. It's crazy. And once a year, I just get this random DM. He just updates me on how well his life is. It's so cool. I don't know. I didn't aim to do any of that at all. I just really wanted to go back to my own seat and go to sleep. But it made me feel good because he was a nice kid. Yes, they do. 100% Crispy. I'm legit confused. Don't medically licensed people have a duty to help in that situation? 100%. It's part of the Hippocratic Oath, and it's a law in the United States of America. So it's... How do I explain it? It's kind of, I can only speak to respiratory therapy, right? So when it comes to respiratory therapy, you have a nationally accredited board certified license, which means I can practice medicine anywhere in the United States of America because I have liability on my head, essentially, and it proves that I'm educated, whatever. Then if I want to work, like, so there's traveling. I'm sure you guys have heard of traveling nurses and shit like that, where essentially you travel all over the U.S., you get free room and board, and you work for 6 weeks, period, and then you move. You work any more than 6 weeks, and that hospital has to adopt you as a full-time employee, and they have to start paying you insurance and benefits. So there's travel respiratory therapists. They don't need to do this next thing I'm going to talk about, but if you're going to be a residential therapist, like move to Baltimore and work at Hopkins, not as a traveler, you have to get another license that's state-specific. So every single state in the United States of America has a unique respiratory therapy board. You guys know I've bitched about the money I shell out every year just to keep my license. It's ridiculous. So there's the National Board of Respiratory Therapy, the NBRC, which I pay like $346 a year to just to keep my license, just to keep it. Otherwise, they take it, they strip it from you. You just have to give them money. They do nothing. They're pointless. But then for every state, there's another respiratory board that you have to apply. And it's not like a test. It's just an application saying, I'm moving to your state and I'd like to practice medicine there. And they review all your information. They're like, all right, so you have an NBRC certification. We're going to give you, for instance, Maryland, it's the Physicians Board of Respiratory Therapy certification. So now you have a certification to practice in a hospital as a resident in Maryland. But all of that shit aside, period, end of story, if you have a board certified active license and you see a human being go down, and by go down, I mean in obvious distress, and you do not attend, and there's no one there, like there's no one attending this, and you walk away, you absolutely deserve it. You can have your license stripped if someone sees it happen. Regardless of where I am. If it's in the United States of America, I have to. I've told you guys before, a couple times I had to pull over because I witnessed a car accident, and I witnessed it happen in front of me, so as a medical professional, I have to pull over and assess the situation. Legally, I have the skills to do so. And it is harm not to. That is a huge part of the Hippocratic Oath that I don't know why, but I feel like there's a lot of medical professionals out there that think no action isn't harm when no action is absolutely harm. Or can be. The problem with that, and I'm trying to think of how to word this without being like scary about it. But like, for instance, like you guys know me, emergency room, ICU, tuberculosis specialty, respiratory therapist, right? Like that's my jam. However, a respiratory therapist who works in a clinic and gives nebulizers 6 hours a day, every day, their whole life, has the exact same license and the exact same responsibility to assess a patient in a moment of emergency. And part of the reason, like, I'm sure you guys have heard me say this, but if anybody comes in the chat and they're like, hey, Katie, I'm in school for nursing, respiratory, whatever, what do you suggest? Like, what's your, like, right now, what should I do? Get into an ICU right now. Do not let anyone shuffle you to the floors. Don't let anyone say you're going to learn on the floors first and then we're going to get in the ICU, period, end of story, because you're going to lose your skills. It's, like, I don't know how else to word it. But you learn all of the skills to work in an ICU, to work in emergency situations in school. And if you get shuffled onto the floors where you're literally, we call it slinging nebs, you're just walking from room to room, putting face masks on people, waiting for the mist to stop, taking it off and charting it the rest of your life. You lose all of your skills. Which RT would you want to stop on the side of the road for your car accident? So my theory about that shady fucking alleged, in my opinion, doctor on that flight is that she was probably a clinician who has not worked in any form of inpatient care in years and therefore hesitated because she probably doesn't know how the fuck to do it anymore. Which is scary. That's my theory. When an emergency goes down and it's like, and I say we need clinics. I'm not hating on clinics. I couldn't work in a clinic. Clinicians have a set of skills I don't have. I'd be so fucking bored I'd start poking myself with things. I don't know. I'd go crazy. It's just a different world. But you start, like, I can see, like, for instance, hesitating if there's a code and you personally haven't actually coded someone for the last 25 years because you work in a lab, but you're still a doctor. You still have a doctor. You still have a board certified license. You still have to get all your training for life-saving, but you haven't actually done it in 15 years. I can see them looking around and waiting for someone who maybe does it all the time to stand up and then, hi, I'm a doctor. I'm going to do what we do in the hospital and stand in the doorway, okay? Ah! Personal theory. Alleged. I don't know. But in order to survive, I have to try to make logic of it. I have to try to make sense of it because otherwise it drives me fucking crazy. I got a load of bull, but cheers. Do it, Crispy. Do it. Unless there's no way to reach them, like something blocking them from you to save them, like a part of the building on top of them, they're still alive, then you call the fire department because you don't have the equipment to get them. 100%. I mean, that should go without saying, like, oh, actually, so this is right on topic. This was, God, years ago, but I was actually working at a hospital, the same hospital my mom worked at, 'cause she's also a respiratory therapist, but not under her, don't worry, not fucking nepotism shit. Also, I'd rather die. But because we worked at the same hospital, we would commute together. And we were on our way home from work, and it was actually really interesting because, like, the vast majority of hospitals in the US, at least as far as I know, work on 12-hour shifts, 7 to 7. So either your night shift 7 to 7 or your day shift 7 to 7, give or take a half hour here and there. They try to, usually nurses are like 6:30 to 6:30 and respiratory therapy 7 to 7, just so we don't have so many people coming and going out of the garages or something. So everybody's getting off the exact same time of work. So my mom and I are driving home from work, and the drive's like 2 hours because my mom's insane and she lives in the sticks but works in Seattle. She's crazy. So we're driving home from work in Seattle fucking traffic, and fuck you not, a little speedy race car, something. I mean, you heard it. Foo! Just flies past us, going like 100 miles an hour. And I don't know how to explain this, but the way that the freeways were, it was basically like, I think, God, it's been a while since I've been home. I think it's like a 4-lane freeway all going the same way, a 4-lane freeway, and then they have these huge grassy knolls between the two freeway chunks. I don't know. It's like, it's its own, it's about as wide, if not wider, than the two huge chunks of freeway, right? So we see this car, and he flew off the guardrail and flew like this and did this shit. It was like out of a Fast and the Furious movie. Did this shit and down into a service road. I don't, states call them something different, but essentially the little gravel roads on the side of freeways. A service road. I don't know what to call it, but we watched it. And it was traffic, so we weren't going that fast. We watched the whole thing. And it was crazy because all of a sudden you see this mass of cars start to merge over to pull over. It was like every single person I worked with at the hospital was in traffic with me at that exact moment. And you saw every nurse car start to do this and pull over, and every single person popping out of their car on the side to run at this accident we just saw. All scrubs. It was hilarious. Like, hilarious in the post-hilarious, obviously. Like, we're not laughing in the moment. But everyone's in scrubs because it's the law. You witness it, you gotta go. But so there's freeway, grassy knoll, freeway, and then there's a grassy knoll that, like, separates the farmhouses that are there from the freeway, so they're not right up against it. It's so weird. Washington's a really weird state. So we kind of had to, like, jump a few barbed wire fences through this, like, grassy knoll. My mom's, like, 65 when we're doing this, and we're barreling through this. All these nurses are... It was so weird. It was like watching a zombie apocalypse, like zombies running through grass, but it was a bunch of people in scrubs. And we get to the car, and the car was flipped upside down, and the guy inside of it did not have his seatbelt on. His head was all crocked on the hood of the car. And two of the nurses that were there that I worked, they were ER nurses, I believe. They start to, like, try to stabilize the head and get him out of the car. And if I wasn't, because I think I was the youngest one there. I noticed all the nurses were, like, people my mom's age. If I wasn't there, I don't know if we would have done this. Nothing happened, just to preface, no emergency. But the car had nitrous in it, or NOx, or whatever. Like, the shit out of Fast and the Furious. I swear to fuck, if I didn't watch all these cheesy fucking corny car movies as a child, I would have had no idea what that weird tank was in the middle of the bottom of the car, shining, all chromy and witness me. Yeah, that, whatever that is, NOS, nitrous, yes. So it was sitting, like, you could see the chrome tank in the bottom of the car, and I stood up, and I was like, we have to get away from the car immediately. And the nurses already had him half out, so we just started to drag his body as far away from the car as possible. But had we seen that first, as hard as it is, you cannot go near that car because it puts your life in danger. Like, yes, Hippocratic oath, within reason, you can't hurting yourself. Getting yourself blown up with the patient benefits nobody at all. But that was really scary. Like, I don't think I've insta sweat like that before. Just like, I saw the shine, and I didn't even know for sure. Like, I didn't even know if that was real, like a real thing you put in cars. It could have just been movie magic. But I straight up know it's not supposed to be in the bottom. Like, none of that was normal. I know what the bottom of a car looks like. So we all got that fucker away, and he was on so many drugs. I remember. He ended up going to our hospital. He was on everything. It was crazy. But just imagine, like, a field of just scrubs running. It was hilarious in hindsight. Yeah, it's explosive gas. So for those that didn't grow up with three older brothers and a bunch of rednecks and didn't watch Fast and the Furious or Gone in 60 Seconds or any of those, nitrous or NOS or whatever, if you've ever seen those racing movies and they're like, I'm gonna win, and they do this thing and they, like, push some sexy button in the center console and suddenly the car's like, NOS. But if a car flips over with that in it, that's a bomb. That's just a bomb. Scary shit. No shit. Cocky's dad's the reason I own multiple tourniquets and large compression bandages. He had a massive, almost 2-inch fistula. That's terrifying. I assume you know how to apply a tourniquet, right? Probably the most interesting part about learning how to apply a tourniquet when I was in school is learning that it should hurt worse than the wound. I hate, like, for going into RT, I'm a very weird person. I do not like to cause pain. I hate causing pain in any way, shape, or form. I do not want anyone in pain around me. I want to make everyone happy and feel nice all the time. But RTs do a lot of pain-causing bullshit. And man, the learning how to do a tourniquet, like no shit, if you ever, God forbid, if you ever have to pull a tourniquet on somebody with anything, a belt or a piece of rope or rubber or whatever, the only way a tourniquet works is if it hurts worse than the wound. That's when you know you've done it. It's fucked. It is fucked. Like, you're literally cutting off and basically causing limb death or whatever to the area of the body. It's gnarly, dude. I hated it. Like, I don't like doing pain stuff. One year at Pensacola CK, I was walking past some people dueling with some... Oh, God. It makes the gas more flammable. Thank you, Adam. Honestly, I didn't even know what it did. I just knew, bomb, get away from it. Wait. Some people were dueling with fake weapons. Oh, God. I don't... And 1-2 took a bad hit to the dome. Oh, my God. This random guy wearing a leather loincloth and not much else dropped what he was and ran to help the guy. I found out later he was one of the top neurosurgeons in the country. You want to know one of the top neuro doctors in the country actually hangs out in our chat regularly? His name's Dr. Neuro, and he's the shit. I know some cool people. Yeah, it's seriously what Crimson said. Like, if you come upon a person who is in a car accident or where anything could have happened to their neck, best piece of advice I can give you is do not move the patient. The only reason to move the patient is if something else is more dangerous. Like, for instance, if a patient is in the middle of a road and there's oncoming traffic. Do your best to stabilize ahead, get the patient out of the road, do what you can. Like, don't leave someone to get run over, obviously. But seriously, like, we would never have pulled that person out of the car had there not been that fucking tank in the top. Because cervical spine injuries are just fucked. Like, you just never know. You could cause the injury by moving the patient. Yeah. I thought it was the flames on the fat side that made him faster. Only the graphics ones. It gets injected in the engine, goes off with a bigger bang due to the oxygen. There you go. That shit. Whatever, that shit is scary. Well, Crispy, oh my God. So it's funny you bring up that basic first aid training. I think everybody needs it personally. Cheers. But Zach and I we do this like once a year. We rewatch every single superhero movie in like chronological order, like the Avengers and shit, all the Marvels. And we've been doing that lately. And what did we just watch? Which one? God, I'm literally just been flying through them, so it doesn't matter. We were watching one of them recently. I don't fucking remember, but oh wait, yes I do. It's on there. It's Spider-Man's mom, Aunt May, not mom, but Aunt May. It's when Aunt May, like, I don't even know, she gets crushed or something and bleeds out her back and then dies silently. Whatever, spoilers, movie's been out for a bit. Sue me. No Way Home. Is it No Way Home? There's No Way Home, and then there's the other one that has a really similar name, and I mix those two up. I think it is No Way Home, yeah. It's when Aunt May dies. But she essentially, like, just gets thrown against a wall or something, gets up, walks, is fine, and then lays down and is like, I just need to catch my breath. I just need to catch my breath. And I straight up, this is the first time I've ever thought this, actually. I'm a little ashamed of myself. I looked at Zach, and I'm like, how come superheroes have zero first aid training? Like, inarguably, they probably are around more injured fucks than any of us. And I'm so sorry, but like, a tourniquet and some compressions would have saved Aunt May. And that fucker just sat there like, I'm with you. Just breathe, mommy. Oh. You killed your aunt. Spider-Man killed his aunt. She just had a lung puncture. Easy. People get that fucking spontaneous pneumothorax all the time. CPR, right? Just get fucking CPR. It's just lay on the chest. That's what I say. When I say lay on the chest, it is the most, if I could offer you only one tip for the future, mouth to mouth is not it. Lay on the chest. 3 inches deep. Break the ribs. Shatter that person. You will save their life. Cheers. Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. No Way Home, Aunt May dies. Thank you. Oxidizer are scary. Like the difference between igniting a balloon of hydrogen and igniting a balloon mix of hydrogen and air. Trouble, thank you so much for subbing to the class, keeping the class alive and giving any swings. I fucking appreciate you. CPR is the toughest love. CPR is fucked up. If you're the first one on a chest and you don't feel ribs breaking, you're doing it wrong. Get someone else. And I say that with love. If you are the first person doing compressions and you don't feel pop, 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 get off. You're not doing it right. And I'm saying this very seriously because you insisting you're doing it right in that moment is going to kill that person. Period. In order for compressions to be viable, they have to go 3 to 4 inches below the sternum. So you have to use enough pressure to push the chest plate into the heart, which causes all of the ribs to go pop, 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 and pop out of it and crack and break. And if you don't feel that and that's not happening, you're not going deep enough and you're not doing it and you're killing your patient. Get off and get someone else. It's not your day. There's no shame in that. Like, we call that shit out all the time. It's not your day. Get off. Like, I will elbow someone off of someone if I can see that they are not doing compressions appropriately. Get off. You're going to kill them. The point of compressions, the point of this shit on the sternum is to cause perfusion. We are pumping your heart for you because it's stopped. And your heart is protected by a fucking bone plate that you can knock on. We have to shove that bone plate 3 to 4 inches into your chest to get it to touch your heart. That's how hard you gotta go. So inevitably, ribs will break. They're going to break. And if you don't feel it, you're not doing it right. Go away. You're not the one. Get someone else. And this is just personal opinion alleged, but if you're tiny, if you're a thin, short person, just get someone else. I'm made for compressions. Get me. I'll exhaust myself on that chest. I'm big. I'm 165, 6 foot. Like, I've got the mass to throw down on that sternum and break ribs. Tiny, I've seen, it sucks because I understand completely. I completely empathize with, like, the pride. Like, I'm a nurse. I know how to do compressions. I do CPR training every year. I should be able to do this. You're 95 pounds and 4'11". You're not breaking, it's not going to happen. It's barely throwing a bowling ball at somebody. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. Go get someone else. There's no shade in that. There's a million jobs that can be done during a code. It's just, that's not yours. It's the big ones. Get us big fuckers. That's what we're built for, is to fall down on that chest and get the heart pumping. It's, you know what I mean? It's not a pride thing. And I hate when people I know it's like not something conscious that they do on purpose, but if pride's getting in the way of you saving a life, it's time to leave. What up, Robo? How are you? I was never taught CPR in high school. At all. I have a respiratory therapy mom, so I knew CPR, but I was not taught any of that shit. Still certified until August. So down here, if you don't act and give someone CPR, then you straight to jail. If you're certified, I mean, come the fuck on. I've got some anger to work out. Let me break some ribs. Dude, no shit, Erican. It's rough. I mean, if you ever get to see one of those, I've seen them in airports where they have like a CPR dummy training arcade machine or whatever. Try one out. It's not broken. Like, the amount of people I've watched do them and be like, oh, keeps saying, push harder. You're not hitting the heart. Push harder. They're like, oh, it must be broken. It's not. You just suck. You're not pushing hard enough. It's not. Like, full-on compressions, if you've never seen them, are your entire fucking upper body straight arm like this, and you're bending at the waist and the hip. Like that. It's not this. It's not, we lost him. It's kush. You're quite literally sledgehamming all of your upper body weight into their sternum as fast and hard as you possibly can for a maximum of 2 minutes. Like, no shit, in an appropriate code, like in a measured code in a hospital, one of the most important jobs that can be your job if you're a tiny fucking person that just can't crack ribs is the person on the clock. And the person on the clock is calling when meds are delivered, when we check for pulses, when we hook up an AED if we want to. That person is vital because you can get lost in it because, like I said, you're not really thinking about your own benefit. You're just saving a life. They've done tests, and the strongest, most fit human in the world can only appropriately do adequate compressions for 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes. So you have someone sitting there, 2 minutes next, and they will fucking shove your head out of the way to get you off that chest. It doesn't matter your opinion anymore. There's a line of people waiting to do compressions, always. Like, if you see a line of people coming out of an ER room, that someone's dying in that room, get away from it. That line is there. So every 2 minutes, you've got a new person that literally, you like slide under the person doing compressions. You put your hands on their hands and you start pumping with them, and then they slide out. It's a very fluid process because you don't want those compressions to stop. But all of this is very, very important because, you know, you think about that if you're alone on the scene. You call, someone call 911, check for a pulse, no pulse, lay on the chest, period, end of story. You stay on that chest until someone is there to take over, and you hope to God it's within 2 minutes. And 2 minutes goes by very quickly when there's a dead body under your arms. It is wild. I mean, it's like a second, and suddenly someone's literally checking you off the body. It's wild. I should say person, because hopefully they survive, but... What happened here? Did I just go into an hour? Time is... I just blacked out. Welcome to the classiest place on earth, guys. Good morning. What's up? Yeah, it's not a body till it's called. I should say person. What up, Robo? I don't know what happened. People got me on they hit my medical button. Chris, I love you. Good luck. Seriously. If you go into it. It's a very rewarding career, but also, I mean, no career is perfect, right? There's downsides to every career. It's very self-sacrificing. Very, very self-sacrificing. Here, all over. Like, you want to know what they call a nurse with a back problem? Unemployed. You want a funny joke I heard today? Okay. Hold on, I gotta think of it so I deliver it right. Hold on, I have to think of it. It was a really good joke and I want to deliver it right. Now I forgot it. Shit. Nope, I gotta think of it. Cheers. What up, Robo? How are you? Do I still have my wristband? What wristband? What wristband? What you mean? You mean my respiratory therapy badge? No, it is absolutely not inappropriate to straddle someone, and no shit, Mike. If you're a smaller person, that's what we suggest. Is you climb on the gurney and you do compressions from here up, like that with your whole fucking body. Absolutely not. I think I've told you guys that the sheer amount of times I've seen people come flying out of surgery and shit, and the doctor is straddling the person on their knees, thrusting their body into that chest, doing compressions. Absolutely. Especially if you're like, I'm not saying all short people can't do compressions, but I mean, if you're really just a tiny person, it's really hard to break bones on a human body, right? That's just facts. But some people that are just shorter, we actually have step stools in every single room, so shorter people can do compressions, because short doesn't necessarily mean you can't do compressions. And what straddling the chest does is gives you that same leverage, so you can bend at the waist and not this. Because this don't do shit. This is what you want. I mean, it's so pervy, but seriously, you thrust your whole fucking core down onto that chest with your arms. So the higher up you can get on that body, the better. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually more advantageous. Like, if you do, so sad, but if you ever have to code a baby, this is really good to know. The way you code a baby, you literally hold the baby and you put your thumbs on its little sternum and you do this. Crazy. But what you're doing essentially is it's like if your thumbs were right here and you're massaging up the diaphragm up into the heart. So you're actually causing a little bit of oxygen movement as well. So it's actually more advantageous to be able to do compressions from like this angle, like pushing up on the chest as opposed to at the side. But because most of us like can't just jump on a body in the hospital, like we do it from the side. I had the same, except had when my mom and me was in the house. All of a sudden, we heard something. We opened the front. Oh God, we saw a van. Oh God, at your house? Van zoomed very fast. Didn't have no nos. He just ran into a ditch with a power box. Oh my God, power went out. Whole place. The van was on fire, and the fire truck got there. Fuck, dude. You saw that? Oh, I would have shit my pants. Right, Mike? And have you had to code? I hope. Can I just to do a nice wrap up on all of my guilt tripping all of you about how you're probably gonna code someone wrong someday. I hope to fuck none of you ever have to use any skill I have just presented to you in the past 60 minutes of this stream. Sincerely. Sincerely. None of it. I mean, I don't know how to. It's like once you've done it, you can't ever really go back mentally. It's pretty fucked up. I really hope none of you ever have to do any of this ever. Stay safe, for fuck's sake. Stay inside. The sun is dangerous. The world is dangerous. Just stay inside. Stay safe. My nephew expressed interest in learning how to cook basic techniques knife work, so today he's over here. Oh, yes, learn how to make chicken stock? Dude. Knife skills, man, I had to learn those in my 30s. I'm learning how to cook in my late 30s. Inform your nephew of this. It's not fun. It's embarrassing. I don't like it. What a nice skill to have that I wish someone in my life had been like, hey, you want to make some cookies or something? Because, like, as an adult, I'm just, like, learning what baking soda does, and that's weird. It's such a fun, the most useful skill, literally. You slept in, oh, dude, I slept in late, too, I get it. Never had to? Good. I really hope no one ever has to. Ever working at a behavioral health clinic, I saw some shit, dude. Behavioral health clinic, I mean, one of the coolest things about working at Hopkins was that you really get to see like, they have everything. Like, they have a unit for everything, whereas the vast majority of the hospitals in the world, they tend to specialize. So, like, some hospitals are heart hospitals and some hospitals are neuro hospitals, and you'll tend to ship patients a lot. Like, you'll have a patient for a while, just you'll discover what's wrong with them and then ship them to a specialty hospital. Hopkins specializes in fucking everything, so you really got to see everything. And, like, it was just real talk. Some of the scariest moments of my life were delivering a CPAP to the schizophrenia unit. For no reason other than my own, like, what the fuck? Like, I am not a psychiatrist by any means. I'm familiar with some diagnoses. That's it. Have my own journey to go on. Whatever. But there's something, and I don't know, but there's something about a schizophrenic mind where a square, symmetrical room freaks them out a lot of the times. So, like, every patient room in the schiz unit, which isn't even called the schiz unit anymore, because schizophrenia isn't even a thing anymore, I don't think. They call it something else. It's like personality disorder unit, I think. Anyways, every room is like an absurd shape with little corners and things to hide in on purpose. And I worked night shift, so everything's more fun on night shift. So you get a call at like 11:30, like, hey, Mrs. So-and-so wants to go to bed. And you'd be like, okay, I'll go get their CPAP. And you go get their little CPAP on a stick and you wheel it up there. And you go into this dark triangle with a leg-shaped room. And your patient is curled up under the bed in the leg of the triangle with a leg-shaped room. And they're just sitting there like, I'm ready to breathe, breathing lady. Real story. This happened to me. Under the bed. Just, I'm ready to breathe, breathing lady. And you have to coax them out from under the bed, get them into bed, and then put the mask on them and hope they don't try to bite your arm off or something. I don't know. Why is everything scarier in the dark when someone's under the bed? I like a good cave. Why am I so, I don't know, fearful? It was nothing ever, I mean, it was interesting because, like, all the psych wards have this, like, triple door system so people can't escape. And the way that people would hide trying to escape was enough to make you want your brown pants. You know what I'm saying? They'd come at you and be like, I'd like to kiss you on the mouth now because your mouth looks kissable on the mouth now. Do you want to kiss on the mouth now? I'd like to kiss you on the mouth now. Do you want a mouth kiss? And you're just like, I have a CPAP. But the dude looks like your math teacher from 8th grade. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying it's crazy. Like, it's just a world. It's a world. Never harmed. It's all my own, like, why is this room a triangle with a leg shape? Why are you under the bed smiling? I'm not breath lady. What's happening here? It's wild. Wild. We had clients once that legit had been in Mari Povich over a paternity test. Oh my God, that's so weird. They brought in the tape. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, your stock. Why would stock, if your stock stinks, that would make me think the bones went rancid or something. Yuck. I broke up a fight between my friend and his father about 19 years ago when I pulled his father off him. I shredded the cartilage in his knee. I can still remember how that felt after 19 years. I can only imagine how long. Oh my God. Dude, the popping of the ribs, honestly, is not the worst thing in the world. Like, have you ever just... That's what it feels like. Honestly, older people, like 80 plus, yeah, they kind of liquefy when you code them, which is why we really don't suggest coding people over a certain age, because you just don't have the bone density anymore, and, like, you're not going to heal from what we do to you. Like, coding you hurts you a lot, so it's kind of like a, benefits, rewards, like, where's the, you know what I'm saying? But, the grossest feeling, because I'm a big person, 6 feet tall, they use me a lot in ER situations to reset bones as, like, a stabilizer, and I don't understand it. Not an osteopath by any means, but I worked in the ER for a lot, and I would just get called, and they'd be like, Katie, we need you in room blah, 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 because we've got a dislocated hip. And I'm just going to tell you what they did to me, and you can assess why. I don't know. So essentially, a lot of the time, they would have this big, long sheet, and the doctor would be on one side of the room, and I would be on the other, and they would wrap that sheet around my waist, and I would have to sit here like this with the sheet, holding it as tight around my waist as possible, leaning against it. And then part of the sheet would be wrapped around the person in the bed somehow. And then the doctor would have another one. And the doctor, I mean, it's almost like cat's cradle shit. Like the doctor would go, whoo, and suddenly the sheets would twist all over and the hip would pop out in and suddenly it's relocated. But I have to sit here. I'm like the anchor for this or whatever on one side of the room. And I hold the sheet around my waist. And you can feel everything being manipulated in the patient through the blanket, like a wave of sound or something. I don't know how to explain this. One of the worst in my life. And this is just personal. Bones really freak me out. I don't know what it is, but broken bones, visible broken bones, that's the one thing that can really, like, I start to get a little dizzy. I don't know why. I've had a lot of broken bones. They just freak me out. So we had this little old lady come in with a dislocated hip, which is very common. People get fake hips, because their hip starts to deteriorate or whatever from whatever, many reasons, and they have to get a fake either socket or sometimes the actual ball joint they'll replace is fake. Hers was the socket was fake. So, like, the chunk in her hip was like a piece of plastic. And so her leg had become dislocated from said socket and was free-floating. So anytime we do anything in the ER to you that's going to cause a severe amount of pain or something like that, obviously we like to put you down. Put you under. We put you under because it's safer for everyone involved. Pain, I've told you guys this, pain is never good. Never lie about your pain scale. Pain makes your heart rate go higher. It makes you heal worse. Pain is bad. We don't want to put you in pain. But also, when you're in pain, you tend to react very sporadically, and it can actually hurt you further. So we give you a nice propofol fentanyl cocktail. We knock you out. It's amnesic. So if you wake up, you don't remember it, and you wake up in 15 minutes, and you're like, is it over? Or like, is it started? And we're like, it's already over, Nana. Woo! Those kind of fun drugs. So anyways, the crazy part about these drugs is you still can kind of like function through them if the pain is bad enough. So we have this little old lady. She's like in her 80s. And she has a dislocated hip, and they do this thing, and I'm standing on one side of the room with the, like, sheet around my waist, and I'm holding it like that, leaning against it, And the doctor, like, wraps part of the sheet around her hip and her leg, and he's on the other side, and he does the whoop, like, that's supposed to spin the sheet on her and relocate the hip. Whatever the fuck it does. I don't know. Not an osteopath. But what it did instead was, and Eliza knows exactly why, so there was a, oh God, if you remember how long ago this was, I can't remember. I want to say it was like 80s, 90s. But there's so many tangents, but essentially super, super random but important tangent. Back in FDA-approved regulatory spheres, essentially, if you make a new medical product that is similar enough to the old medical product, it doesn't have to fully go through FDA trials to get approved to be put inside of people. It's fucked up. I don't understand how this is okay. But, like, if you make a steel ball joint and then a cobalt ball joint and they look exactly the same and nothing says this is a bad idea, they'll just put the cobalt one into practice and think about testing it later, i.e. look what it does to the people they put it into and claim that's the test. Super fucked up. I know. Thank you again for subbing to my channel and supporting me here so I don't have to work with the medical assistant anymore because super fucked up. But what happened was the cobalt caused bone tissue and organic tissue to liquefy and necrotize and turn into black goo. So not only did she have a fake joint, the joint part, but she had this cobalt ball socket. And because it had caused the bone to liquefy around the new socket, when the blanket went to click it back into the hip socket, it caught the side of the fake socket that was no longer attached to liquefied bone and folded it into her hip under the cobalt thing. So what my waist felt was like if you dragged a chalkboard across your teeth, but inside of your vagina. Like, there was nothing audible, but I heard it. I don't know how to explain that. Not smart enough, but you know what I'm saying. Things that, like, go, ah, but no one else, you can't hear it. But, like, it was in the, like, the blanket, you know, felt, like, transmitted the of this shit. Wild. Fucking wild. They have to, wait. They have to have, what's the serial number thing? They still have to have specific labels and be able to track serial numbers, so it's bad. But they can track, I mean, think, fuck, right? Jesus Christ. What up, Germanic? How are you? I don't know. I got on a medical tangent and then got stuck on medical tangents. That's it. I'm sorry if I've missed any chats. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. To renew what? What are you renewing? It's the bone conductivity. That's exactly what it is. Thank you. That's exactly the term I was trying to think of. It's like the conductivity of it. It felt like grinding. Yeah. Oh, but that's what I was going to say. The creepiest part to me was that even on propofol and fentanyl, this little old lady could scream. It was, I have no mouth, but I could scream. Have you ever seen a deaf person scream? That was what it was like watching. Like the pain of that fake joint folding in on itself into the liquefied bone where the cobalt had destroyed her body on the inside was so horrific that she went through propofol and fentanyl at 85. She didn't remember any of it, but I do and will forever. Horror. Again, thank you so much for hanging out on my channel so I don't have to do that anymore. Appreciate you. We love breaking down joints and heavy metal poisonings in one go, right? I don't even know what happened. I mean, she lived, but I'm almost positive she probably had to have a completely new hip. I mean, a new... I don't know how far it had gone, but it did. It liquefied her bones. I don't even know, man. Fucking gnarly. We don't have to talk about liquefied bones anymore, though. Reasonable. I saw something about it, but I didn't read the specifics on it. Is it a new monster compendium or companion compendium? Which one is it? I saw it recently. I got like an ad or something on, I want to say Instagram, but I didn't look into it. It looked pretty fucking cool though. And I think there's like a badger on the front, which is pretty dank. You can always, dude, for one thing, I can always carry at least 3 topics at once, but also we're talking about liquefied bones. Like, let's please change the topic. I'd love to. When I got pneumonia, I screamed like that. I was in so much pain, I screamed, and nothing came out. Seriously? That's like a nightmare where you can't run through quicksand, Glut. That is horrifying. I'm so sorry you had that. I was thinking amputee. I mean, at that age, how do you heal from that? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, Dremonic, here's the thing, though. All pain is relative. Don't ever compare yourself to somebody else. Never compare yourself to somebody else, because that's not fair to you. Like, everybody's pain is different. How do I say this? Everybody's pain is relevant. Period. End of story. That's just facts, man. Just because one person seems to be going through something that's, perceivably shittier than yours, they might think what you go through is shittier than theirs because what they go through is normal to them, It's a new player's handbook, DM's guide to monster. It is a monster manual, updated rules and options. Ooh. I'm excited. I saved it on my Insta. I just didn't read it yet. Oh my god, it solidified as a mass in my lung. Oh, you had bronchiectasis. Nuh-uh. I just got such a respiratory boner. I laid down to go to bed and was hit with so much pain I tried to scream and couldn't. That is fucking horrifying, Glad. Went to the ER, they did the chest x-ray where they said it's either cancer or pneumonia? What? They said that out loud to you? When did it become appropriate to throw around random cancer? Off of an x-ray? Are you fucking with me? Big wow. Big fucking wow. Did they just give you antibiotics? Or did you have to get scoped at all? Oh my god, Koto, don't you love when that happens? That's happened to me before. And then I'm like, what did I say to make them hate me? Probably something. They did just throw that around. What the fuck? Martial class is especially getting a lot of love in the new book. Good! Ooh, like staves and shit? Like monk kind of? Ooh. I begged for that kind of a class in ESO for like 6 years before I gave up. Like some sort of hand-to-hand weaponry class with like a staff or something, or a stave or whatever you want to call it. I just got all the 5e D&D books a couple years ago. I ain't buying new books for a while. Dude, I mean, how do you think Zach and I felt when we moved in together and realized we had doubles of half of that shit? It's behind that box. I realize you can't see it because it's behind something, but we have doubles of almost every D&D book, and it's fucking maddening because they're so expensive. But, like, neither of us want to get rid of them because they're so expensive. Like, they're so expensive, and they're like, we have they're special, they're memories. So neither of us are willing to get rid of ours, so we have doubles of everything. Everything. Vampire the Masquerade, everything. Yeah. It's sad. It's a lot. They kept me over the weekend on IV antibiotics and said to come back in 3 weeks to see if it goes away. I'm assuming it did, but Jesus, I'm shocked they didn't scope you or anything. I have a high pain tolerance, but I got serious issues with thought of needles going into my spine. Like, no, I admit I farted out of nerves. Dude, why not? Like, my thought was like, if I move wrong, I'm dead was my thought. Just because cancer can be seen on an x-ray doesn't mean they need to throw it around. Yeah, that's not a word to throw around. And no shit, Dream. I mean, this is the way I usually tell my patients, like, if you're worried about, twitching or moving or whatever, just think that the last 5 patients I had weren't worried about that at all and twitched all they wanted. I don't know how else to put that. Like, you're never the worst, and we're prepared for the worst. Like, for me, for instance, my job as a respiratory therapist is taking an ABG, or an arterial blood gas, i.e., I take blood from your artery, not from the vein. So, nurses and shit, anytime you're getting blood work, it's coming from a vein, which is non-oxygenated blood that's on its way to the heart to get oxygenated. I'm taking blood from your artery, which is this big fucking fat pulsing nonsense going down your wrist that is oxygenated blood going all over the body. So the likelihood of me bursting that and killing you and or giving you an intravenous infection because I'm not doing it sterilely is super fucking high. But we do it all the goddamn time, constantly. And I've had patients that we're going in like right into this kind of, the older you get, the worse it is. But it gets very, how do I put this? Sinuous? So gross. It gets really like tendony all up in your wrist. So the older you are, the more likely it's going to sound like as I go in. The younger you are, it's fine. You can kind of feel your pulse in there. That's what I'm going for. But essentially, I've had patients where I'm doing it and they don't feel it. I swear to God, they're just laying there like this. And I'm like, all right, this is one of the more painful things we can have done in the hospital. But like, I swear to God, I'm really good at it. I'm really fast. if you work with me and we both just work together, this will be done in 15 seconds. And then I've had some patients who quite literally are trying to grab me while I'm drawing the blood, are biting my neck, telling me that they want to murder me, even though they have track marks up and down every portion of their body where they are self-injecting things. The little needle, seriously, the needle we do for ABGs is like this long, super, super tiny because we don't want to introduce infection. The needle I'm using to do this is the one thing that's going to get you to like bite a stranger. Like I've had people bite me over this and I still didn't fuck up and I still got a good ABG. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just the concept that you're even conscientious that you might twitch or move or you might fuck them up means you're probably the best patient they've ever had. You were probably the goddamn bright, shining fucking star of their day. Because 99.9% of people go in there and try to bite us. Or whatever. I don't know. People get weird in the hospital. Like, you can literally talk to them in one room and you're like, okay, this is what we're going to go do. And they're like, absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. And you go in the next room and they're like, I am Satan, Lord of Darkness. Ah! And you're like, what? That's why hospitals make people crazy, dude. I mean, how does one stop playing D&D? They still don't have a Dirtman class. Guess we have to make one. Homebrew. Let's fucking go. That happened when I moved in with my hubby. We have so many doubles with so many PS2 games. Oh, yeah. It's bad. Ours is mainly D&D stuff, I think. Books, though. That was actually, like, Zach self-describes as he doesn't read. He does. He's read, like, a lot of books in his life. He just doesn't, it's not a hobby, I think. It's something where the book has to be pretty renowned. Like, he read all the Game of Thrones books. He's read some, like, we have doubles of some fucked up books, like, American Beauty and shit like that. Like, there's a couple, like, murder books we had doubles of. That was pretty bad. Staff is singular, staves is plural. Thank you. Both. I'd take both, honestly, a staves type character or a staff character. But I've always thought, like, a monk kind of class would be super fucking fun. And they begged for it. 2 peas of the same pod, samesies. I tell myself that all the time, but like I have just enough medical knowledge to be slightly paranoid about stupid crap. I totally get it. Me too. I mean, no shit. Like Zach went into the hospital the other day. Not the hospital. He went to clinic the other day to get his throat checked out. And before he went, I'm like, did you shower? You wearing new clothes? You wearing underwear? Do you brush your hair? Do you stink? And he's like looking at me. I'm like, it's not that you're dirty. It's just you never want to be the dirty patient. Because for me, that was one of the worst things I ever had to experience, was just like, some people have no level of personal hygiene. And when you are really used to working in a super sterile environment that smells like sterility, and someone comes in smelling like old fried chicken oil because they haven't showered in 3 months, it is mind numbing. Like literally you just kind of go, all right, I'm gonna get up in your mouth. Wonder how that's looking. Oh, there's hair in it. Is it hair? What's growing? Is it a tooth or a mushroom? Is it a tooth or It's smiling at me! You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a hygiene level that's just alarming. No one's a spotless human, not even myself. But man, when a stinky fuck comes in, it is so clear you're a stinky fuck. Wear some goddamn deodorant at the doctor's. It just makes it so hard to function when my eyes water. I remember when I got my PICC line the first time they inserted it, it failed for whatever reason. It got stuck. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ow, wow, 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 wow. I'm so sorry that happened. Ow, 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 ow. I hate needles too. I'm super phobic of them actually, which is crazy. I've told the nurses giving me shots to don't tell me anything about it and do what needs to be done. I just look away. Me too. I look away while they're doing it. If I look at it, I will panic and flex hard. I faint. Two peas. Same. When I get them, I have to warn them, like, I might pass out. And I'm fine. I'm literally a totally normal Katie up until the needle touches me, and then I'm like, huh. It's a phobia. It's the weirdest shit. I can't even watch it on TV. I cannot watch needles. But at work, I could. Obviously, I did it. This is what I'm saying. There's a certain personality type that becomes a medical worker, regardless of who you are. Like, you can have a fucking fainting needle phobia outside of the hospital, but once you clock in, it's like anything that your body does to protect itself, i.e. of pointless phobia, goes away because life is in danger and that's all that's important. I've told this to my therapist. She can't even make reason of it. She's like, wait, you faint if you get a shot, but you can give shots and watch people give shots in the hospital. But if you watch it on a movie, you get nauseous. I'm like, yes. And trust me, I'm not doing this for attention. I would really like this to stop. I'm fully aware they're not harmful. What the fuck? Phobias, man, they're fascinating. PICC lines are very scary. That's what I had when I worked in my corner shop. There was one customer that would make me physically sick. And they probably don't even notice it. And I mean, it could just be like, no, if you're living your life and you're doing fine, you do you, boo-boo. I am not here to judge anybody. It's just like I've had, and again, if we think about what Katie's job was, I'm just here. So if I can smell you across the room, chances are, once I get, it's going to be fucking bad. So bad. Like, you know, and I'm like this up in that, you know, scoping you, or I'm intubating, or I'm tracheing, or I'm clean, I'm doing mouth. The one benefit to someone being intubated was that every 6 hours we go in and we do mouth care, i.e. we brush their teeth and everything, because if you're intubated, your mouth is stuck open, and so we want to keep your mouth wet because dry mouth causes tooth rot and causes bad gums and all this, so we want to keep you nice, and I get to clean your mouth as fucking well as I want to. It's the best. I'm in there like a dental hygienist, like, and we're just gonna floss that shit. What the? Oh my god, no shit though. I've had to intubate people where the teeth all move when you like put the intubation tube in. That's really scary. You don't get to floss those teeth. Oh, Dawn. Dude, okay, my mom had that done. God, I want to say like 10 years ago now. For same, she had plantar fasciitis, and she had a cortisol shot. And no shit, she said it's one of the worst things. I mean, my toes are curling thinking about it. She said it's the worst pain she's ever experienced in her entire life. But she's never had pain since. Sorry, she hasn't had pain in her foot since. I think it's one of them. You know what I'm saying? It's what, oh god, it makes my toes fucking curl just thinking about it. I think it's one of them situations, though. You know what I'm saying? Where worth it, but ouch. I used to be so scared of him, but now I use a needle once a week for my HRT. See? And it's like, it outweighs the benefits, right? Or the benefits outweigh what your brain was afraid of, or whatever it is. Hostile, dude, the burning eyeball, though. I prefer not to smell stinky armpits, but do not enjoy the smell of them, and I'm not a fan of sticking my fingers in your caked on Dio. But it's so gum. I can't. That makes me sick. It is. Sometimes getting paid to do it changes how you function about things. I'm very socially anxious, but when I worked in customer service, I could go talk to anyone, no problems. Same. That and, like, I have no sense of, like, self-preservation or, like, any of that, but I'm very conscious of wanting to help everyone around me. So, like, if I see the shot or the needle or drawing blood as, like, this is good for you, that we're doing this to benefit you in any way, there's no fear there. But when it comes to me, I'm like, I don't care, I'd rather die. For some reason. I'm like, you know what? Death sounds good. Over a shot? I get all my vaccinations, by the way. I don't let my phobia get in the way of life. I'm not that immature, trust me. But it's there. I'm still aware of it. Two things can be true at once. All moved. I'm not fucking you. So, like, when we intubate, you know, we, like, knock you out, and so you go all limp, and I cock you back, and I rake your jaw down, and then I put the tube in, and then we get an x-ray to see where the tube is. We want it to be, like, 2 to 4 centimeters away from the carina, where the bronchial tubes split, basically. And if it's too far down, because we guessed too far down, then we'll pull it out a little bit, take another x-ray, make sure it's there, and then we secure it with tape or, like, some sort of, like, mouth securement device to make sure that tube doesn't slide in and out of your throat and move around, because that causes disease and infection and shit like that. And I went to pull it out a little bit, and the teeth, like, did, like the teeth did, they went from this, and they did that. And then I pushed the tube in, and they did that again. And then I pushed the tube in, and they did that. But, like, they were connected. Does that make sense? I mean, I just stopped moving the tube, and we taped it, and we were like, okay, we need a dentist. Like, I'm not a dentist. I'm just there. I think we actually trached them because we were like, I don't know if a tooth's going to fall out and they're going to inhale it. But yeah, Their teeth, like, you know, if your teeth are like this, they did that. And they did like that. It was wild. I mean, let's be real. Teeth, the bones you have to pay to keep. I mean, toothpaste is expensive. Fuck. It's the fucking bones you gotta pay to keep. And I quit. It's not that bad. There's always worse. There's always worse out there. I mean, think about being a dentist and being up in that mouth all day with a conscious person. Like, best part of my job was 9 out of 10 of my patients were knocked the fuck out. I just got to take care of them. It was like taking care of Sleeping Beauty. I just got to brush their hair and brush their teeth, clean their nose out, make sure they were nice and clean and not smelly, help the nurse if I needed to, and move the fuck on. Dentists have to, like, do all that and talk to them at the same time and, like, acknowledge, like, hey, your breath smells like a dead cow. Whereas I can be like, your breath smells like a dead cow. I need the tongue brush in here to your tongue because you're knocked the fuck out. I just take care of you. I don't have to, like, you know, take you into account, really, when I take care of you. But I clean you the fuck up because I'm a nice person. Tattoo needles don't fuck me at all either. Exactly, David. Literally exactly. Like, obviously, I'm covered in them. But tattoo needles are so different. They're little, tiny, short, you know, drag across. For me, and I'm sure it's similar, David, like, my phobia is so fucking hardcore specific. It has to be, like, a long needle doing an intramuscular injection. That fucks me up. And I fucking to this. I have theories, but I don't know why. Thinking about message back, messaging a back and back acne explodes on your hand as you're... I mean, wouldn't you see it first? McTaggart, this might just be a gross me thing. But man, I'd be like, would you like to add extractions to your services today? Person on the... Yeah! I would go to town. No, I don't like Dr. Pimple Popper. I have to do it myself. Watching it's just gross. But getting to pop someone's blackheads and oh yeah. Something about that gives me some sick fucking... Dude, Zach won't take his shirt off around me if he has a zit, because he knows I'll be like... Can I just fucking, like... Just like fucking... Like, I can't. Gotta get it. I love it. It's disgusting. Esthetician style, I would totally get it. I would be stoked to get it. I know, but I would ask it. I don't know. I mean, okay, so, like, you have to be an esthetician to do extractions, but what if you just accidentally did an extraction? Like, if they're just popping on your hands as you haphazardly massage back knee, are we not extracting any hoozles? I mean, we're either going to do it safely and hygienically, or we're going to not. I'd grab myself some 4x4s and be like, yeah, this is part of the massage. It's just, this is the micro massage. You know, the intent, exactly. I couldn't leave someone with, like, half-open sores on their back. I would never do that. All of my brothers had really bad back knee when I was a kid, and while we would go to town on it, that shit's miserable. I feel infinite sympathy and empathy or empathy. I never remember the difference between the two. One is because you've experienced it, and one is just like, oh my god, I never want to experience that, but I feel bad for you. I can't imagine. Like, shit just seems horrid. Horrid. Absolutely horrid. Zach actually gets, like, one pimple a year. It's disgusting. It is so... I mean, I know it's probably hormones and shit, but the fact that, like, a man can shower every other day and not use skincare of any fucking kind and get a pimple a year, and my body's like, would you like your monthly acne breakout, Kate? Yeah.
They're all under my beard.
They're not. I
hide them.
Look at him. Look at that skin. I spend hundreds of dollars. He actually spent hundreds of dollars on my skincare because he broke one. But it's just unfair. There's 8 years difference. No wrinkles. No skincare. He uses, oh my God. He does use some skincare. Do you want to? He uses my nurse lotion. That's not pussy juice. That wasn't a euphemism. It's Aquaphor. He calls it nurse lotion. Because he has like an aunt or something that's a nurse. And he's like, my hands have been really dry lately. Do you have any of that like nurse lotion? That good shit you get at the hospital? I'm like, yeah, bring out my tub of Aquaphor. It's my nurse lotion. It's the best. It's just unfair. I don't understand it. My best friend does Aquaswim facials, constantly sends me Snapchats of the gross stuff they pull from her face. Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure you don't see half the like deep pore. It makes me gross feeling it and thinking about it. Deep pore like nonsense going on. But all of it's meant to be in there and it like hydrates your face. If you break out, like that's an infection. But like the oils are supposed to be there for a certain, like to a certain extent, right? Kosh, you ever get one in your nose? I feel like this time of year, because my allergies are really bad and I'm blowing my nose constantly, every once in a while I'll get like right, like right there, like on your septum, like right up, right where it's just, you do that and you're like, ah, ow, ah. And every time you blow your nose, but it won't pop, it's nothing. It's like an ingrown hair. I haven't had one in a really long time either, but it's the fucking, it makes my eyes tear. Like that, whatever that nerve pain is, they're the worst. They're so bad. Gen X has been adults since the age 8, and we didn't, yeah. Well, you never stopped adulting, but I feel like there's a huge, I mean, at least all the people, all my friends that are Gen X-ish, like they're just living the childhood now that they deserved when they became latchkey kids that had to heat their own Campbells and eat dinner alone in front of the TV. You know what I'm saying? Because they've like, I only date old men, i.e., mostly of the Gen X variety, and they've got more toys than I do. I don't mean sex toys. I mean like fucking cool figure. Like when I moved in and the shelves were covered in books, and by books I mean D&D manuals and comics and like Autobots. I was like, yes, I will touch this penis willingly. This is where I want to be. Like that's the best. Like I don't think adulting means you have to give up the child, like loving cool things that are childlike or whatever. Like I have fucking Xena on my wall and a Jason doll because they're the best. Yeah, but I mean it's because you didn't. I mean your parents probably couldn't afford any of it for one. If like I feel like I grew up super similar to Gen X because like second youngest of 8, most of my siblings are Gen X and my parents are a lot older. So when you guys tell me stories, it's so fucking similar to the way I grew up. But it's like you didn't have money to give 8 kids a really expensive toy or something like that. Like that just wasn't gonna happen. And so like either you have kids, so you have an excuse to buy all those cool toys and play with them with your kids, or you just don't want kids and you just buy the toys anyways. Like I don't have an excuse to have the My Little Pony doll on my bookshelf. I can't be like, yeah, that's my daughter's. I'm just like, no, I bought that for a lot of money at a pawn shop because it's rare and perfect. Do you play with it? No, I do not. I brush it sometimes. I brush its tail. Sometimes. But I don't want the fibers to come out. So I mostly just leave her there. But I have no cool excuse. But I don't feel like I need one. And that's cool. And that's the best. I think we need to take a break because my dog's here and I have to pee. Want to come say hi? Go say hi, Bubba. How are you doing? How's your morning? Did you go on a big adventure? Oh my god. Middle Earth? This early? Is this the Eye of Sauron? You looked into the Eye of Sauron? Is that a joke about your sister's gapped out butthole? Are you trying to call Lilith a whore? The Sauron jokes were so 15 years ago, bro. No one reads the books and the movies are outdated. You gotta stop. I don't even know. Oh, you're gonna avenge your sister like a Wick, like John Wick stomping puppies? John Wick didn't stomp the puppy. Oh, he did. That's okay. I believe you. No, you must have saw a different version. It's whatever. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm not really into that kind of thing. Oh, the puppy was a dick? You can't just say kids are dicks. Kids aren't dicks. It's their parents, bud. Anyways, sorry. He's a little sassy today. Do you want to go outside and maybe fuck around and shit? You're so handsome. You're a very handsome boy, Bubba. No shit. I rewatch Fellowship all the fucking time. Fellowship and Return of the King are the best. I enjoy them. I love the books. I mean, those two. The middle book's just so fucking boring. There's just nothing going on. I love them though. Like if I ever just feel like feeling magical, those are my go-to. Like they just make me fucking feel magical. I don't know. Like you remember when you were a kid and you'd watch, I can't even think of an example, like anything with Tim Allen in it. I always think specifically to, the Santa Claus. It had this feeling of magicalness that almost made you tear up. I feel like Lord of the Rings is pretty much all that can do that for me anymore. Like every time, you see Elrond for the first time or something, I'm just like, oh, you're so beautiful, gay. I love you so much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the middle child. I mean, book. Middle child syndrome's not real, right, bud? Fuck. By all rights, shouldn't the middle one be just like absurdly interesting? Like, I'm not flexing here, but the oldest of my siblings like owns a construction company, is relatively fucking boring, and the youngest is Sarah, and she's a lawyer. But us all in the middle, we're either dead in jail or kind of interesting. So like the middle's kind of the party when it comes to kids, really. It's like I feel like the Twin Towers should be the last child. That's the cakewalk child, where you're just like walking through some mountains existentially and everything kind of, you're just like, I know how to do this. This is fine. We're familiar here. You know what I'm saying? The first child is Return of the King, and Fellowship's kind of the middle child, where you're just like, good feelings, they're gonna be ruined. Oh. Fool of a toque. I don't know. I did my best. I fucking love Santa Claus too. It was so good. Two Towers movie was badass. I mean, all the movies were badass. I saw all of them in theaters. Oh my god, Kona. I don't know if this was real, but I saw on Twitter that they're making a remake of Neverending Story. And like the Nothing was depicted as like an like, oh god, what's the Tim Curry like poison creature from Fern Gully? I just blanked on it. It's Hexen. It looks like an obese Hexen in the sky. Is the Nothing? It's like it looks like Slimer if Slimer was like smoke colored. It's like Slimer in the sky like the Nothing is supposed to be nothing. That's the point. There was Mogra, right? And then there was the wolf. What was the wolf? And then there was the fucking Nothing. Right? Minimin, I just want to say thank you so much for that tip the other day. I got barbecue and it was so sexual. I fell asleep with it on my face. So thank you. I needed to let you know. Yeah, I don't think I want anything to do with that remake at all. If it's real, I want nothing. They made the Nothing something. What are you doing? I mean, you can't. I don't know. There's no way you can remake that movie and make me want to anything to do with it at all. Artax is dead. Get out. Koto, it's so weird because I love food. I just eat so little of it. Because like, it's probably a problem, but basically, I don't eat for fuel. I eat because it's tasty. So I could be starving, but if all there is salad, I'll just starve. Like, I'd rather get down on a nasty steak or something. Like, I fucking love food. But because I have such a bird stomach and I eat so infrequently, like, if I'm gonna eat, it's gonna taste good. And if it doesn't look good and doesn't smell good, I'm just gonna, I'll starve instead. I'm good. But I don't feel like I'm starving. Like, I'm kind of just not interested. It's really sick. But I travel for food. I mean, 90% of the reason I travel the world is just to eat what they have, just to walk around and eat myself stupid. I love, like, new flavors, new textures and flavor profiles and shit. Oh, hell yeah. Same! Oh my god. Elodie, you're the first person to ever identify with that with me. Thank you. Zach gives me shit for that all the time because I often end up eating like one time a day. But I'll walk through the kitchen and if nothing's exciting and all we have is carrot sticks, like, I'm good. I'm not hungry. But like, if we got the ingredients to make like a cheesy egg bagel breakfast sandwich, then like, yeah, I'll fuck that. But yeah, I think I'm kind of picky. But I just want it to taste good. Like, I'm not picky. I will eat almost anything. But I just want it to be good because I eat so infrequently. Like, I want it to be fucking good. So I just don't really touch it. It's really bad. It's not a good habit. Eat more than once a day. It's not a good habit. Wait, what's ocean beef? Same, Mish. It's the word PB&J, man. Our like watch parties in the evening have been really good for me because it's the first time in my life that it's the first time in like 15 years that I've eaten more than once in a day. And again, I don't support that way. I mean, everybody eat the way you want to eat. There's no right way to eat, right? Eat what makes you feel good. But because I'm just like busy all day and there's not like interesting foods around me or whatever, I tend not to eat till I'm starving. It's terrible. But we've been doing this like watch party where we sit down and watch anime for a couple hours every night, and I make myself a PB&J and I have my tea and I sit here and it's like become my little ritual, but I actually am snacking and I feel like I have so much more energy. Like the last 2 hours of the day before I like eat dinner and put myself to bed, I'm not like stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. Like I actually have energy to do shit. It's wild what food does. Wild. Sometimes I'm just body hungry, not mind hungry. Yes. I love the way you worded that because that's so real. Well, we're talking about food. Attention, my fellow residents of the southern U.S. 2 tomato sandwiches for lunch and fresh tomatoes. And from your garden. You have tomatoes already? Jealous. Mishy hard say. I mean, I'm so glad I'm not the only one. So I'm going home in a little over a week. I'm taking Vissy back to visit my parents and stuff, and we're going to go all over the Pacific Northwest. And all I've thought about is all the places I want to take Vissy to feed her. And we are the same in that we both eat like birds, so it's kind of fucking hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take you to my home state where I'm going to take you to all these great places where all this fucking food is. We're both going to take 2 bites and be super full and take a nap and smoke a lot of pot. Everywhere. Like, I'm fully aware that's going to happen. But the 2 bites are worth it. Some farm that sells bougie meat, and it's ocean meat? Oh, that's kind of interesting. I guess they do have a lot of ocean, though. This is a Fleetwood Mac's great. I went to a summer solstice drum circle this morning, and they had fresh pineapple. Yum! Yum. It is a good routine booster, 100%, yes. And it gets me, like, getting my dogs out on time, which is good, because it's so stupid, because I think I believe and stand by, anyone should be able to walk alone at nighttime and not have to worry about a fucking thing. Unfortunately, I have boobs and pussy, which makes it scary to walk alone at nighttime with 2 big dumb poodles that would probably lick my attacker to death or something. So I try to get them home before it's dark, even though I know that's stupid and bullshit and I hate that that's reality. It's fucked up. Crispy. I mean, tell me this hasn't happened to you, where you go all day and suddenly it's 6 p.m. and you're like, why am I cranky and feel gross? And you like stand in the kitchen, you reach at a random bowl and you grab an apple and you're just like angrily biting it. And by halfway through, you're like, I'm like a bird, I want to fly away. Hey, cocky. Like suddenly you're on crack and feel like 100%. And I can't be the only one, right? But I'm 36. So like, why hasn't this just become knowledge yet? Hello? Wake up! Like, when you turn into a cunt, eat an apple. But instead, I'll sit there and be a cunt for a few hours first, being like, why am I such a cunt? Eat a cheese stick. Fuck. Katie, come on. We're learning together as a team, body. That's the hanger. But you'd think you fucking learn. BDO, isn't that fucked up? And I'm not mad at men for that. Like, that's what I say. Like, me just being cautious of walking alone at nighttime is not me saying any of that is okay. I'm not mad at men for the fact that you can walk alone. But, like, Chappelle's kind of a douche, but I think it's Chappelle that has the stand. He tells a story about how he went and did, like, a stand-up routine when he was really young for a bunch of, like, mobsters or some shit. And they hand him a backpack full of cash, like tens of thousands of dollars or something like that. And he's like dirt fucking poor. It's at the very beginning of his career, you know, he's really scratching. And he's wearing this backpack on the subway in New York City on his way home, and it has like $20,000 in it or something. I don't remember the number. And he thinks to himself, like, never in my life have I had something on my person that someone is willing to kill me for. Oh my God. Is this what it's like to have a pussy? And yeah. Like, I'm not saying this shit's worth 20 grand, but for some reason, people want to kill me for it. Like, a lot of them. Or at the very least, maim. It's crazy. None of it's okay, but it's stupid not to acknowledge it, I think. Like, putting yourself in harm's way just because you don't think that's the way the world should work is not smart. Like, what are you doing? I'm not gonna die and be sexually assaulted or what the fuck ever. I have cheese sticks and like little snacks like that hidden around the house so that accidental grab and start to munch happens before the hanger. Because it's just not a priority in my head for some reason, even though it makes me feel like $100 and it makes me feel good about myself. It makes me have energy and like, oh man, now I want to work out instead of like, I'm working it. It's so stupid. But I don't think about it. It still hasn't clicked. It'll click one day. Not that one should immediately go to candy, but the Snickers ads where it's like, not yourself, eat a Snickers, have a point. No, 100%. And honestly, at the end of the day, Snickers is not the worst thing you could ever do. Peanuts are actually really, really good at regulating blood sugar. You could just eat a handful of peanuts. Pitsy, dude, I'm in debt. Let's go. I'll cut a piece off. Probably. That reminds me of how I've only really heard fellow autistic people talk about how I'm hungry, but nothing I have in the house feels right, so I guess I'll Have you ever Have you ever poured a bowl of cereal and then just not eaten it because your spoon's dirty or missing? Because not me. Or gotten Dunkin' Donuts because your coffee cup's in the dishwasher and it's dirty and it stinks. So glad I'm not alone, because I cannot tell you the sheer amount of bullying I went through from my parents for this shit. You ever just stand at the bus stop in a t-shirt and jeans because the sweatshirt your mom sent you to school in was so scratchy you couldn't handle it, so you'd rather look like a wet rat and get pneumonia? Things we all realize later in life, like, oh, you mean I'm not just a broken piece of shit? Wow. Wow! Still mad about that stuff. Peanuts are an amazing snack. It's why I mean, it's probably part of the reason I love my peanut M&Ms. Again, you shouldn't reach for candy. Like, there's something to be said about, like, the first thing you eat in the day kind of sets the tone for the rest of the things you eat in the day. So if the first thing you eat is sugar, your body kind of will subconsciously crave sugar the rest of the day. Whereas if you eat a fruit first thing in the day, it's more of a natural version of sugar, but still sugar and gives you that pop. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Your digestive system's wild. It's like its own kind of brain in there. I've totally not eaten because the dishes were dirty. Why don't you just wash one by hand? Because I opened the dishwasher and it stinks. And now I'm sensory overloaded and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run the dishwasher and wait. I'm just glad I like that. We're not broken, but we're all on occasional pieces of shit. 100% yes. And that's okay, though. Did you actually find the clip video? Shut the fuck up. Seriously? Was it Chappelle that actually said that? I'm surprised I remembered this correctly, actually. I'm really impressed with myself right now. Hold on, let me pull this. Pause. I never remember stuff. Ever. Senor, do you have internet back? And power? Dude, last night we were watching in the, hold on, let me turn this down. We were doing our watch party and Senor, like, didn't have power or internet to watch with us when was hanging out in the chat and, like, had the show that better than ours. I don't know, like, strange shirtless smoking man lives on road, picks fights with randos, I don't know, possibly very drunk. Like, the image just reminded me so much of being in the woods in, like, Western Virginia or something and fishing. Like, it's exactly what you would see. No shit, got power last night. Good. I'm glad you at least got it off. He's cool, just a little off. I mean, if they're harmless, like, leave them to be harmless. As long as they're not a creep, then they're not harmless. Coming in from outside gets so cold. I have to, like, acclimatize. Literally, we had likely snow today and it's 80 degrees. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think so. I feel like there's a dog hair on me. Anyways, so I said we'd play some Destiny today. My hand, I've been nursing back to health. I've done nothing cool with this hand. Okay, I've done some cool stuff with this hand, but nothing interesting in games-wise, because I've left it alone, because literally just doing this hurt. But I can do this now. I think I've got it back. So I was gonna say, if you guys want to if anybody wants to join my fire team, I'm gonna, I mainly the cutscenes, right? Like the new content cutscenes. If you are familiar with the Destiny story, do I have them over here? In any shape or form, I brought out our boy. One of them. I should bring out both. But this is the, I guess I could bring, hold on. See, y'all know, I fucking hate Pop Funkos. I just don't like clutter. That's it. That being said, I have a handful of them because they're very special to me. I have 2 Ghost Pop Funkos that have been gifted to me that are very fucking special to me. I have a Han Solo. And I have Cade. I've had this goddamn, like there's a fucking hair on my nose. I've had this for so long I don't even know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what model it is or anything. I don't know. But it's my little Cade guy. So we've got the good energy. There's a dog here. I can feel it. You guys shed on me. And I've got... Still the worst. Still the worst. It's still the worst. Oh, I know you wouldn't, David. I know. I've already, I mean, I basically already, I did half of it with my hunter, so I want to pull, I was going to ask if I should pull in my Titan or my Warlock. I don't know. Either one, I haven't done the story with, the new main story, and it's fucking beautiful, but my beautiful Lance Riddick, it makes me, I mean, reading the back is so hard, but it's such a beautiful, it's just so... Me too, I'm very picky about them. Like, if there was any other way to have a cool figurine of Cade, I would, but I have my Pop. I have that guy. So I've got a fucking hair on my nose. One moment. I can feel it and it's driving me crazy. Okay. Oh my god, Viata, I got a bite on the back of my fucking knee. I thought of you because it's not as bad as a wasp, but I got a mosquito bite on the back of my leg and it sucked. So anyways, the new Destiny shit is so fucking pretty. I don't know what to tell you. You don't need to love Destiny to really enjoy what I'm gonna dive into. It's stunning. It's just stunning. And I mean, I'm gonna be real with y'all fucks. I'm probably gonna cry again. I don't know. Vissy, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Please raid and run. You know what I always say. As much as I'm flattered, if you want to sit and hang with me for the next 6 hours, please, for the love of God, stand up, get some water, stretch your legs, load a bowl, do what you need to do. You've probably been sitting with my girl for a bit, but I love you and I appreciate you. Mandel, are you kidding? This is one of my most treasured, but I mean, I haven't painted it because I'm scared I'll ruin it. It's just so perfect. But, he is forever in our hearts, and that's what's importante. I love you, bitch! Be safe. Oh my god, they made you... That's rough. Yeah. Yeah. That's... big oof. So, like I said, David's gonna join my fire team. If you have Destiny and you want to join the fire team, feel free. I leave it open. That being said, if you skip any cutscene or any cool dialogue, I will kick you so fucking fast permanently. It's so good, how dare you? I haven't finished it. I literally just did like the very beginning part on my own and was like, no, I want to do this with stream. It's too pretty. It's too emotional. I don't know what to say. Same, David. Same. Same. Hard same. Okay, let me move chat so I can see you guys. That's not it. The music's pretty fucking good too. Oh, I know what you mean. I was like, part of me thought they should just, how do you say it? Like, it sounds fucked up, but like, just kill off the character. Like, when Lance died, like, just kill, like, no one can do this. Just find a way to kill the character. Like, Lance passed away and it's horrific, and I just, but, I've heard very, very good things. I've heard that Keith has done an incredible job, like a very respectful job of it. So, and I mean, I have no doubts of that at all. Like, I have no doubts that anyone wouldn't do the most respectful job they possibly can. I gotta make sure the audio's routed. One moment. Because I, unplugged my PC, so God forbid. Right, Goonies, I'm glad. It sounds cruel to say that, but I'm sure you know what I mean when it's like, I truly didn't think anybody could do it. That could just be my absolute horrible biased opinion, though. Like, now. My nose is so congested. All right. I have a brand new bowl packed. I'm going to look for someone quickly to raid because I have to get my fucking dogs out. Thank you for hanging out with me today on this fine ass day, though. I'm sorry if I sounded like a snotty nasty. And also, I would just like to formally apologize for the way my character looks. She looks so trashy. I gotta fix that shit. She didn't look good. Before we go, LZT said he sent me some of his cool art, and I wanted to see. Oh, bitch, I saw this on Twitter. If you guys don't follow my boy LZT, Long Nose Leather is his business. What browser are you opening? That's not the one I want. One moment. Okay, you know what? That'll work, because fuck it. I gotta take my dogs out. I'm just gonna have to, just give me a second. You just give me a second. I'll fix this. I'll fix this. Fuck off. That was me, not you. It's opening in Firefox, so I just have to it's what, don't worry about it. Oh, look, it worked! Dude, that's fucking gorgeous. Like, I have no idea how you make these by hand. He makes everything by hand. I don't know how you make them by hand and they look so pristine. Like, everything I've ever made by hand in my life looks handmade. Like, oh, look, she made a craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, she made an arts and craft. Like, that's everything I've ever made ever. That's what it looks like. That's fucking gorgeous. Hold on, I can't see chat. Oh, game. That's beautiful. Seriously. And the color. Did you dye it or did you buy it that color? I know nothing about nothing. My fingies hurt. I mean, did I show you? I'm almost done. I'll give myself a little. I don't sell shit. Please go to longnoseleather. It's long nose, but it's like longno.se because Sweden. It's clever. It's hilarious. Longno.se. Please go there. This is my own personal cosplay item. It is very rough cut. But I'm getting there with it someday. But all I wanted to say is, like, just doing what I've done with this, I have such an appreciation for the art that is hand sewing leather. Just sewing leather. It fucking sucks. That's it. Everything about it. So, like, if you've ever looked at something that's handmade by a leather artist and it's hand sewn and you're like, wow, that's not worth it, shut the fuck up. You just shut the fuck up and you get the fuck out, because yes, it is. It is so tumultuous, stressful, and my fingers hurt all over all the time. But, for our charity, I said I'd do a Jinx cosplay, and so using, like, scrap stuff, scrap leather, and, like, thrifted belts and shit like that, I've been putting this together, and it actually looks not terrible. I gotta sew this part and put the back together, but the front's done, and I got the giant grommets, so it'll be revealing. But what cosplay isn't? Let's be real. It'll be great, but, like, sewing leather super sucks and hate it. Oh yeah, I've already been, like, contemplating how to keep the girls in, because they're just gonna fall straight the fuck out the sides. And so I thought about getting, you know how Jinx's whole thing is, like, the neon colors, like the bright pink kind of neon looking monkey or something like that. I thought, it'd be cool to get pasties that look like that. So if a titty falls out, it's like that anyways. Because, like, flesh tone's just gonna make people think it's like the Marilyn Manson bodysuit and I don't have a nipple. Like, I'm not fooling anybody. I have nipples. I'd rather just put a smiley face on it. You know what I'm saying? Dude, that's exactly, no shit, Glut, that's what I was thinking. Like a black circle and then just, like, the neon pink tape or something like that over it, just to give it, like, the Jinx vibe, or neon blue or something like that. Just in case, because I ain't here to get arrested or be showing my nonsense around, because that's how you get arrested. Oh my god, you can get custom pasties all over the place. Stop it. I'm gonna write that down, because that might just be a fucking hilarious joke one day. Like, that's just kind of literally like one moment. Oh, happy 420. Did we just we missed it by 4 minutes. Why are we like this? Cheers. Why are we like this all the time? Because we're celebrating LZT's beautiful art. Cheers. Oh my god, yes! And if a tit doesn't fall out, it'll just be confusing. Like, why is there, like, a pink U on your stomach? It's like, you'll never know. That's, Jack, that's exactly what we were saying. Like, a pasty that looks like Jinx graffiti of some kind. Just in case. Because the top, I mean, I don't have huge boobies. But it is, like, if you watch the show or read it, she definitely has significant side tit. And so, just to protect myself, you know, from the ifs, ands, or the buts of the boobies. I don't want to get arrested for a tit exposure or like, I don't want to cause anyone problems, so I'm not gonna. But I love the idea, and I love just the idea of like, just casually getting ready for bed and having like Zach's face on my titties one night. Like, he might shit his pants. Like in a, I don't know what's a good way. But that's like psychological warfare that I'm fucking here for. Or, I mean, I could, what if I got like one of those, like the privacy V thing that they get for movies, but it's that face. Stop. Isn't that Zeke every night? Well, I don't know, maybe. Is that why he wears brown pants? Like a merkin, but like a sticker with just that face on it. Bubba, why don't you come say hi? You're squeezing your neck. Come here. Come here. You just squeeze your neck there and it makes me sad. Come say hi. What are you doing? Come here, Bubba. Oh, there's a boy. How's your day been? Did you slay a dragon and save a princess? No. I had to put up with that dumb slut over there all day, though. She's kind of a whore. It's whatever. Oh. Right. Every time. Right in the mouth. I'm not mad. It's my fault. I gotta learn to just stop. It's gross. Right in the kiss her every time. You're very adorable, yes. Thank you so much, Bubba. Jizz, you like the lotion? The lotion? Look at his lip, the way he crosses. Oh, you can't see because of the mic. He crosses his little hands like a sir. Ever since he was a puppy, he's like, it's the cutest shit in the world. You're the cutest shit. It's so dark in here, though. No one can see you. You're hidden, bud. The hidden bud. Oh, dude, Vissy, they're gonna literally crap their pants. Maybe. You have no idea. Actually, I think he does. Because, like 3 days before you come, Zach's brother is staying. He's staying with us. He comes tomorrow. He's staying with us for the weekend. And so I've been cleaning all the bedding and cleaning up the spare bedroom and getting it ready. And I think he knows because he's been laying in there every day. He's like, someone's coming. You know, huh? You're too smart. You're just gonna lay here now? You're just gonna live here now? I gotta choose someone to raid and then we can go OUTSIDE. Do how you're breathing. All right, do you wanna go outside? Oh, yeah, that's all we fucking want. Yeah, they're doing things like normally the only reason mom goes in that room is to close the door and either be on the treadmill or take pictures. Like that's it. They're usually not allowed in there. So when I'm walking in and out of there and doing like cleaning things and leaving it open and he's been going on like when I take my breaks, I'll walk and go look for him and he's laying on that bed and I'm like he's got that the tingle. He's got a Peter dingle. Do you have a trick tickle? A trick tickle? Do you have a Lilith lickle? Nope, it's gotten weird. We must stop. Okay, let me see. Who's live? Before I can see this. This weather makes me anxious because it looks like it's gonna rain. I don't want to be in the rain. You guys don't want to be in the rain. Oh my god, Zach's on his mom call. Okay. If you didn't know, Zach has a really good relationship with his mother and he calls her. And every Thursday, and his mom calls are so funny. So we're gonna raid into those because they're fucking hilarious. His mom is such a sweet. She's seriously one of the kindest. I don't know. She's just, I don't know, a sweetheart. I think I broke the raid. Did I break it? Did it work? Did it work? It says I'm already raiding Ezekiel, but I'm not. I don't know. Let's try. Clean your bong, drink water, go to Longnose, longno.se, check out some cool other goods. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Or tonight for watch party. I don't fucking know. It's whatever you want it to be. You choose your. You know what? Be the D of your own destiny.